Jets arrive, and it's a very special year this year. The Red Arrows are now in their 50th display season. In that time, we've performed over 4,500 public displays in 56 countries. We're very proud and honoured to represent the very best of British, both at home and overseas. Now, as our official title, the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team suggests, we do belong to the Royal Air Force. And today, the Royal Air Force's purpose is twofold. It's to protect the nation and its interests 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And it's also to provide the nation with choices during times of crisis. We do this by combining very high-end technology with excellent people, and that gives us a battle-winning capability, whether that's through using our fast jets in delivering combat air, or by using our newly updated air mobility fleet in supporting ongoing operations or delivering humanitarian aid across the world. And in fact, you've seen a lot of the Royal Air Force assets are in use at the moment in the ongoing crisis in Iraq. The Red Arrow's role is to showcase the excellence of the Royal Air Force and demonstrate its strengths and relevance, most importantly by demonstrating the excellence of its people and the world-class training they have received. Our other roles include defence diplomacy, assisting in recruiting for the British military and supporting British industry. We are a military unit of around 120 personnel, and we all volunteered to join the team. We're commanded by Wing Commander Neil Fraser. We have a structure that is broadly similar to most other fast jet squadrons across the Air Force. So Wing Commander Neil Fraser is a Harrier pilot, doesn't take part in the display, but he's in charge of all the disciplinary, administrative and safety functions of the squadron. And he commands 10 pilots, the 9 display pilots we have, 8 of which you'll see this afternoon, and myself as the supervisor. But the most important members of the squadron are those that support to make the display happen. Now, the pilots wear red suits, but our support sections wear blue suits. We call them the Blues. They're primarily made up of engineers, but we do have photographers, suppliers, administrators and drivers who help represent a cross-section of the trades within the Royal Air Force. Now, the Blues outnumber the Reds by about 10 to 1, and they really are the hard-working members of the squadron to make sure that our busy summer season is a success. And without their constant efforts, it certainly wouldn't be. So while we're here, I've got a lot of you here in Bournemouth. Let's please have a big round of applause for those who support the Red Arrows. The Red Arrows Blues, please, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Well, I'm just about to check in with Red 1. They'll be performing one of the 3 types of display we have that they can fly depending on the weather. So our full display allows looping manoeuvres, but that needs the cloud to be at least 5,500 feet above us. If it's lower, they'll fly the rolling display where we can fly our formation barrel rolls. And if it's below 2,500 feet, that's Rev 1 checking in. They'll be here at minute 3.5, so we've just got about a minute to go. So the cloud, if it's below... If the cloud is below 2,500 feet, then we'll get our flat display, but Red 1 will make that decision as he runs in. I've just checked in with him. Now, boys and girls, I've been a Red Arrows display pilot myself. Bournemouth was one of the best places I displayed, and I do know that when the pilots fly past, they will be able to see you waving. So I want everyone jumping around, waving their arms, so the pilots get to see how much you're enjoying it. When the jets get here, the shape they'll be in will have the jets around 20 feet away from each other, and they'll be flying at 400 miles an hour. So, is everybody ready to see the Red Arrows here at the Bournemouth Air Festival? Here we go then, let's get clapping and cheering. It's the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, the Red Arrows! Starting from amateur big battle, they now pull up and collapse to around 6 to 8 feet away from each other. As Red 1 calls them into short diamond formation, they reach about a mile above us in the sky. Leading the team is Red 1 squadron leader Jim Turner. It's his 3rd and final year as the team's leader. He is a former Jaguar pilot, but he's got lots of display experience, having displayed the Jaguar. Spent 3 years previously with the Red Arrows, including leading the synchro pair. And then Jim spent 3 years as the official advisor to the Royal Saudi Air Force's display team. Two and 5 acknowledge the move to Eagle now. Normally it would be 3. That cadence they use sets up the manoeuvre, so the pilots extend their air brakes using a very metronomic rhythm, and that enables the 3 aircraft on each wing to drop back in unison to form Eagle. And they're going to now fly the Eagle Roll.
Easing. Up. Smoke on. Go. And roll.
So come on, boys and girls. This is where we go upside down. The pilots will see you. When the Red Arrows formed back in 1964, ready for that first season in 1965, the aircraft they used was known as the Folland Gnat, and that was the advanced jet trainer used by the Royal Air Force in that era. And in 1976, the Hawker Siddeley Hawk entered service with the Royal Air Force, and in 1980, the Red Arrows started to use the Hawk as their aerobatic aircraft, and it's still the same aircraft we use today. The Hawk's now a product of BAE Systems, and it's a very successful aircraft. It's been sold to 19 countries across the world, and it continues to impress in its guise as an advanced jet trainer. In fact, last week saw a very special event for the Hawk. It was the 40th anniversary of the first flight of the Hawk. Well, a bit of a lopsided shape now coming in from the left, but this is flanker.
Now.
Another formation change as they go into this left-hand turn. We don't fly with a spare pilot. I'm Red 10, but I'm the supervisor. I have to be on the ground at every display. It's not the case that I can fill any position in the display. So if someone is ill, or as you've seen in today's case, the pilot can't be part of the show, then we fly an asymmetric formation and we practice our loser plans, as we call them. Now coming in from the left, above Argus with some red, white and blue. Let's have a huge patriotic round of applause in Phoenix.
Reversing. Right. Now. Holding the bank now. Smoker, go.
On the leader's right wing is one of our new pilots this year. He's Red 2, Flight Lieutenant Stu Campbell. Stu is a former instructor on the Tucano aircraft. You saw it display here earlier. He was actually the display pilot in 2008, and he taught basic fast jet training. On the front line, Stu flew the Tornado GR4. Now out to the right, the boys have formed a little bit of a lopsided trademark shape, but they're all going to smoke this as they fly the Diamond Roll.
Easing up. Smoke on. Go. And roll. Set up.
Let's have another big wave, boys and girls. Well, we fly our formations with the odd-numbered pilots on the left-hand side. The even-numbered pilots fly on the right-hand side. In their 3-year tour with the team, the pilots generally start at the front near the leader, and as their proficiency improves, they move further back. Normally, I would now talk about Red 3. I've told you the reason he's not here today. I'm sure you saw him on the television show. Joe Hurston is a former Hawk instructor and Tornado pilot, and he's flown back to Scampton now to be alongside his lovely wife, Sarah, who's giving birth this afternoon. Hence the lopsided 8-ship formation you're seeing here at the Bournemouth Air Festival. The smoke goes off to our left. The boys have now formed a trademark iconic shape for the Red Arrows. This is of the supersonic airliner, and it's Concorde.
Smoke on. Go. And pulling up.
Pulling up for the Concorde loop at 400 miles an hour, 4 times the force of gravity.
2, 5.
Another formation change now. Reds 2, 3, 4, 8, 9 move forward. The jets slow down to about 150 miles an hour as they reach 6,000 feet over the top of the loop. The G's backed off to about 1G, but as they start accelerating down the other side of the loop, they're at coming up to 400 miles an hour. The G's building up to 4G as they show us Fred.
Coming left. Now. Holding the bank. Now. Lift off. Go, letting it out. Rolling. Out.
Well, that's the end of the first half of the Red Arrows display, ladies and gentlemen. You've seen 8 aircraft together performing close formation aerobatics. We're now going to split down into sections of 2, 3, 4 or 7 aircraft and show you some more dynamic maneuvering. At the front of the formation are normally Reds 1 to 5, clearly without Red 3 today. We call them Enid after Enid Blyton's famous 5. And at the back, Reds 6, 7, 8 and 9, and they are Jippo. Jippo is the nickname of the gentleman who first led the back 4 when the Red Arrows started flying their 9-ship displays officially in 1968. Well, out to the front, we've got that wide Phoenix shape again. Now it's definitely time to get your cameras ready.
Rolling. Out. Ready to push. Red. Slow come. Go. And pulling up.
Reds 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 9 pull up. Keep your eyes on the synchro pair with the blue smoke.
Right.
This is the palm split. With his blue smoke going off on the left-hand side is Red 6. He's the leader of the synchro pair, Flight Lieutenant James McMillan. It's James's 3rd and final year as a Red Arrow. He actually grew up in New Zealand, but he transferred to the Royal Air Force in 2002 and became a Hawk instructor and Harrier pilot. On the left, Red 6 is followed by Red 8. Looking right with the smoke on is Red 7, chased down by Red 9. These 4 aircraft are now descending to 100 feet. They're closing at 850 miles an hour. Cameras ready. This is the amazing Jippo Pass. The synchro pair leave their smoke on. They're turning away from us at 6G, or 6 times the force of gravity. That means everything in their bodies weighs 6 times more than normal. These pilots are now working really hard to counter the G-force as they roll out back towards us to fly the Cyclone. As the synchro pair slingshot out to the front, you need to look to the left to find Enid. The wings of Enid now drop down to form an inverted V shape. If you look to your right, here appears a lone jet. His smoke comes on. This is Red 9. He's going to perform the Goose. Climbing steeply with a red, white and blue stripe is Red 9. He is Flight Lieutenant Mike Charlton. He's a 3rd-year pilot with the team. He's a former Hawk instructor and Hawk display pilot. Then operationally, he flew the Typhoon. You saw it earlier, the Royal Air Force's new multi-role combat aircraft. Enid climbs steeply to the right, but looks straight ahead for the synchro pair as they pull up at 500 miles an hour and 5 times the force of gravity. The jets reach a height of 7,000 feet. The red smoke comes on, ready for their heart. Now keep your eyes to the top left of the heart. Here comes another jet for a nice finishing touch. Red 8 puts his red smoke on. Red 8, Flight Lieutenant Martin Pert, another third-year pilot with the team, a Hawk instructor and Hawk display pilot and Harrier pilot. Ladies and gentlemen, Red 6, 7 and 8 with their heart and spear. Now, I can't dedicate that to anyone other than Sarah Hurston, who's just gone into labour. Red 3's wife. Sarah, that one's for you. Left and right again, the synchro pair descend to 100 feet, and they're going to perform the opposition barrel roll. Now look to your right, you'll see Enid are being joined by Reds 8 and 9. In fact, Reds 8 and 9 have been flying around at 600 miles an hour to join the rest of the formation.
And pulling. Up.
Pulling up in a 6-ship Vixen formation.
Coming. Left. Now.
Red 1 now twist this loop towards us through 90 degrees in a quarter clover.
Holding the bank. Now.
Now get your cameras ready.
Break. Break. Go.
This is the vertical brake.
Smoke up. Go.
Left and right again now for the synchro pair. This time Red 6 comes from our right and Red 7 from our left. They are closing now at 800 miles an hour. They're going to cross 3 times in opposing 360-degree 6G turns. Here they come for the carousel.
Push up. Right up. Turn.
Pulling 6G with red and blue smoke. Now watch when they swap. At each of these crosses, they swap their smoke colour using the individual colour control buttons on the aircraft's control column. Now look towards Old Harry's Rocks to the right, 45 degrees.
Up. Colour on. Go. And roll.
Enid are in a shape called Leader's Benefit. They're going to draw a red, white and blue snake-like shape of smoke in the sky as they fly the Python.
Holding the bank. Now. More bank. Holding. One shot. Go. And roll.
On the far right of that Leader's Benefit shape is Red 4. He's Flight Lieutenant Ollie Parr. Ollie is a second-year pilot with the team, and he's a former Tornado pilot, but he has spent a tour as a Hawk flying instructor at Royal Air Force Valley on the Isle of Anglesey in North Wales, where we train our advanced flying students. Got to say a big hello to Ollie's girlfriend Lucy, who's here today. Hello to you. Keep looking to the left now. We'll find Jippo.
Rolling.
Red 6 and 7 now roll upside down.
8 and 9. Roll. Go.
This is the corkscrew.
Rolling.
Red 7 there working hard, flying his jet only 8 feet away from Red 6, but doing it while he's upside down. Now you need to look to the left for the 4 headlights of Enid.
Should they switch off their units? Switch on go. 2 and 3. Roll. Go.
Rolling from the inside to the outside, these are the rollbacks.
Go.
Finishing their rollbacks. Keep your eyes down to the right-hand side. You'll see the 4 headlights of Jippo.
Enid, smoke up, go, smoke up, go. 6, rolling, in.
Once again, red 6 and 7 now roll upside down. 8 and 9 match them underneath. In from the right, this is the mirror pass. Let's give the synchro pair a big wave as they fly past upside down then, boys and girls.
And 6, rolling, out.
Red 6 gives the command to widen over to our left. You need to look to your right 45 degrees for Enid.
Enid, proton, go. 5 roll, go.
Reds 1, 2 and 4 now fly in Vic formation. And here comes red 5 rolling around the rest of Enid a dozen times.
Coming. Right. Now.
This is the twister.
Holding the bank. Now, tightening. It's going to be 264.
Getting very dizzy with the red smoke on is red 5, Flight Lieutenant Steve Morris. Steve's a second-year pilot with the team. He's a former Hawk instructor that operationally flew the Harrier GR9 and the Tornado GR4. And a big hello to Steve's wife, Hannah, who's here watching today. Look directly front now for Jippo.
8 and 9, roll, go.
Cameras ready, reds 8 and 9 pitch up to roll around 6 and 7. They then roll and split in the Jippo break.
Go.
On the right, with his smoke changing from blue to white, is red 7. He's synchro number 2, Flight Lieutenant Mark Lawson. It's Mark's second year with the team. His background is solely on the Tornado GR4, where he spent 3 tours flying over Iraq, Afghanistan and Libya and becoming a qualified weapons instructor. Mark would like to say a big hello to the Timms family and the Austin family. Now the synchro pair descend to perform their final maneuver of the show. These are the double rolls. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the fabulous synchro pair. Now look directly ahead. You'll see Enid are being joined by reds 8 and 9 for the displays finale. They're in a 6-ship Vixen formation, and this is the Vixen break. We're the Royal Air Force aerobatic team, the Red Arrows. Red 1 puts his smoke on. He's going to gather all 8 jets together and recover to Bournemouth Airport, where our team of Blues will now service the jets, ready for our display here at /10 tomorrow afternoon. If you'd like to find out more about the team, please visit our website, which is raf.mod.uk/Reds. On Facebook, we're RAF Red Arrows, and on Twitter, we're at RAF Red Arrows. Well, we are going to get one last fly past from the boys before they head back to Bournemouth Airport. So if you keep your cameras out, they'll be coming in from our right-hand side in just a couple of minutes' time. And they're going to fly in a formation called Pyramid, so a big V shape of the front with red 6 flying behind red 1 to even it up and make it a little bit symmetrical. I said about finding more about the team. If you'd like to visit our stand, we have the Red Arrows tents in the Royal Air Force Village down near the pier. in there. It's the red and white inflatable igloo style tent. A team of our Blues will be able to furnish you with a poster or a brochure. You can find out lots of information about the team. Bournemouth obviously holds a very strong place in the Red Arrows' hearts. The tragic events of 2011 after the display, when Red 4 at the time, Flight Lieutenant John Egging, sadly lost his life after the display on recovery to Bournemouth Airport. Since then, John's widow, Emma, has set up the John Egging Trust in John's name. And that is very, very, very successful trust now. It's helping young people achieve their aims. Now, two of the former Red Arrows pilots, Squadron Leader Ben Plank, who was last year's Red 8, and Flight Lieutenant Chris Linden-Smith, last year's Synchro Leader, are actually running the Great North Run for the John Egging Trust next Sunday. Now, they have said, I've got a note here from Chris Linden-Smith, it says, if we raise £3,000 or more, then they will run the Great North Run in their full flying kit. So, ladies and gentlemen, now it's over to you. Could you please donate to that? You can find a link on Chris's Twitter page, which is at Chris Linden-Smith, no H, or I will put a link on straight after this